Hello everyone. Today I want to talk about Jim Thompson's The Getaway. This is the book I discovered because I joined my favorite comedian's Anthony Jeselnik's book club, because obviously my reading list, which consists of about 200 books, is not enough. I needed some more advice. This is American noir crime drama. This was, I think, my first book in that genre. I used to love crime dramas. In my country we call it detectives. Just like that, it's detective. My grandfather was a very big fan of crime dramas, and he would buy all these translations, mostly from American and English writers, and I used to read all of them. When he would finish the book, then I would pick it up, and I loved every single one of it. One of the first books that in my childhood, whenever you asked someone, if you were a kid and you wanted to read a book and you asked someone for the recommendation, the first one everybody would recommend you would be The Three Musketeers or Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. And of course I loved Sherlock and Arthur Conan Doyle in general. I've read his other works also during that time, and I loved him. He's one of the best writers. His characters and stories are amazing. And then of course I moved on to more serious crime dramas. I don't remember too much of the names that I've read during the times, but I remember that I loved American detectives, American crime novels. I remember that much. I remember, of course, Agatha Christie and James Chase, but others not too much. So I wanted to get back into one of my favorite childhood genres, and I wanted to join this book club, so I started reading it. And of course, I'm not going to spoil anything when it comes to this book. I'm just going to discuss my opinion and the feelings that I got from this book, and then, of course, my recommendation. First of all, I'm going to say that, yeah, I would recommend it. It's pretty good writing. And if you're someone like me who wants to write and considers themselves writers, I think this is a very good book to read also in terms of that, because there's a lot of good writing techniques you can discover here. For example, the way he writes the characters, the backstories of the characters, how he introduces them into the scenes. This is very good, very smooth, and sometimes he gives you little bits of information about these characters, but somehow it's very revealing and gives you ideas about who these people are, what their motivations are, traumas or experiences. It's written really good. And of course, then the story itself, what I like is that how we follow these characters alone. Like the protagonist who, this is not going to be a spoiler if I say that the first scene and first event which happens and, starts off this novel is Doc McCoy and his partners, his wife and his partner Rudy Torrento, and the other guy, new guy who comes into this crew. They rob the bank and then they start running. I'm not gonna say any more details about this, but what I liked, most of the crime novels or movies that I've seen, you also see the perspective of people who are chasing them. But no, here, like police, for example, right? Here, or you go back to the crime scene and you see the investigation going on this car. They discovered this, they discovered that. There are a couple of small moments like that to give you the idea what is happening back there, but very small, like maybe like a small paragraph like this, which gives you a little bit hints of what's going on there. But we are concentrated mostly on these people who are running away, who are trying to get away from the chase and from the crime scene and move to Mexico. As I said, this was my first Jim Thompson novel, and I think it was my first noir genre novel, which means that all of the characters, even protagonists, they are, you could say, bad people. They have a likable characteristics, and you at some point you have some kind of empathy and you want to root for them, but then they always do something very bad. They are just not good people. They make bad decisions. They are selfish. You are invested in story. You are interested in them, but you are just following the story. You want to know what's going to happen to them, because it's a good story, it's dynamic. You're not rooting for these people. You don't like, at some point you just have this like sport interest, sporting interest of what's going to happen to them. Are they going to make it or not? What's going to happen? What bad decision is going to lead to where? You get nervous, but not because you feel the safety for them, but like, what the hell just happened? This kind of stuff. And then when I was in the middle, I was thinking that I wouldn't probably read any more of Jim Thompson's novels because I was thinking that I would explore same genre but maybe other writers. But the ending changed my mind, and I want to pick up a couple of other novels from this writer to see what he writes, what kind of ideas he has, because again, I'm not going to spoil it, but the last part of this book doesn't give you twist per se, but it changes everything, even genre. At some point it becomes, I would say, urban folklore, I guess would be like a modern folklore kind of stuff, like a border folklore, Mexican American crime border folklore genre, very dark, which is very interesting and disturbing also, and takes you away from this action dynamics into some kind of emotional dynamics. So if you haven't read it, read it. Again, if you are someone who wants to write and you're a writer, it's a very good book in terms of getting to know the writing techniques, how to write a character, or the backstories, how to introduce like a little bits of information about this character. It's very, very good technique. I liked it a lot. When Anthony discussed this book, and I read a lot of comments underneath his video, I saw a couple of guys saying that they didn't read the book, but they saw the movie adaptations. I read the book and then I watched the adaptations. So disappointed, especially from the most recent one, which was 1994. The cast in that movie is absolutely amazing. You have Alec Baldwin, Kim Basinger, Michael Madsen, Jennifer Tilly, James Woods. It's based on this novel, but it's not really, and then it's more Hollywood than this noir stuff that we have. The character dynamics and emotions, it's lost there because it's just a robbery and then let's run away and someone is coming after us, that kind of movie. And it loses, and not just it, you would say it doesn't capture the dynamics or characters or characteristics of the characters. No, it's different. It's like at some point I was just hate watching. Honestly, it was so bad, and I was so disappointed because the character of Rudy Torrento is very complex, dark, multi-layered. He has a trauma, he has this paranoia, all of this. It's very complex and very interesting character. But here is just another 90s kind of villain, which was so disappointing because I really wanted to know how Michael Madsen, who is an amazing actor, would portray this character. Yeah, that's exactly what happened there. Like, so bad. I cannot even describe. So if you have watched the movie and haven't read the book, I want to tell you that you have no idea what's going on in the book. An ending is so bad in both movies. I hated it. So read the book. Much, much better than both movies. Even though in the first one you have Steve McQueen, for example. It's just 90s blockbuster, cheesy action movie which has nothing to do with whatever Jim Thompson wanted to tell in his book. So I would definitely recommend you to read it. You'll be entertained. it's very dynamic. It's action filled. It's very fast paced. You're gonna love it. Thank you for watching. Please, if you like my videos or like this video, watch other videos also, and please like and subscribe, and tell me your opinion about the movie. If you've seen the movie The Getaway based on this novel, or if you have read because of Anthony Jeselnik, or maybe prior to his book club, and share your opinion with me. I always love when someone shares their opinion. I love to talk about the books. I started this channel exactly because of that. I want to talk about the books. I want to share my opinion, and I want to hear your opinions. So let's talk about it. So thank you for watching, and I hope you're gonna come back for my other videos.